This is the aftermath of floods witnessed in the country last rainy season. Major displacement, loss of property and lives was witnessed following El Nino rains that hit the country after a long drought season which lasted 5 consecutive rain seasons, leaving over 2.5 million heads of cattle dead in the country. However, it is not the first time the country is witnessing flooding, especially in arid and semi-arid counties. In the last floods witnessed from November 2023, more than 500,000 people were affected by the floods, with 90% of the victims coming from the ASAL counties, according to UNHCR. Garissa County was hard hit by the floods.
More than 155,000 persons were affected. That translates to around 24,000 households. People were affected across the county. This was one of the biggest, I think, floods we have ever experienced since 1997 for El Nino. So this was El Nino, and by the damage was even bigger than the El Nino because it has affected all our infrastructure. The key roads were cut off. The Garissa-Nairobi road was cut off. Dadaab road was cut off. We have 7 sub-counties and most of the key roads were cut off.
ASAL counties not only faces flooding and drought, groundwater in the ASAL counties has reduced drastically in recent years due to over-abstraction, climate change, environmental degradation and human activities. On the other hand, water scarcity is a thorn in the flesh of the residents of these counties, resulting to ethnic conflict, pitting pastoralists and farmers.
When it comes to water resource and security, these are 2 features which are very interrelated because most of the conflict that we have in northeastern region is because of water, pasture, and our livestock. So this comes when conflict is there, insecurity arises.
It is on this backdrop that the Intergovernmental Authority for Development, IGAD, in 2022 started the Horn of Africa Groundwater for Resilience Program with Djibouti, Ethiopia, Kenya and Somalia, a project meant to address groundwater challenges in the ASAL areas of the 4 countries. In Kenya, Garissa, Mandera, Turkana, Wajir and Marsabit will see the implementation of the project, which is funded by the World Bank and Kenyan government.
Kenya will contribute a third of that, and the rest will come from a regional pot. Water
Resources Authority is engaging leaders and locals from the 5 counties, starting with Garissa County, through forums aimed at creating awareness on how the project will benefit the community.
In the same sense, we will have the communities protect that infrastructure, and also the communities will come in to protect where the aquifers are naturally recharging. We call those groundwater recharge areas. So they will ensure that the infrastructure put on the ground are sustainable into the future, and that they will be able to craft activities around the infrastructure in a manner that is environmental friendly.
One of the issues that today we are discussing is about the major 3 issues is about monitoring of the boreholes. How are we going to do this monitoring? We want the community to tell us what are the issues, what are their concerns, what are the entry points, what are their response in regards to maybe when we are doing the monitoring activities, monitoring borehole activities.
Women and girls spend hours trekking long distances in search of this precious commodity in ASAL counties, but with the coming of this project, there's a ray of hope for women and girls.
Men just go to the bushes and they go to the mineral zones. The person most affected is that woman who really needs water. So once the water is around, just near her, that one is, a relief for the women of Garissa County. And we really welcome this project. If it works as per, the expectations we have, it will be a plus for the women of Garissa.
Approximate number of the beneficiaries are 1.5 million inhabitants of the counties of Turkana, Marsabit, Mandera, Wajir, and Garissa.
Following over obstruction of groundwater in the Asal counties, the project will have mechanisms to recharge groundwater aquifers by slowing the speed of run of water every time it rains to allow it to seep into the ground.
We increase the vegetation cover, we put an infrastructure that will lower the speed, that will allow a resting time for the water to percolate to the ground. So the target issue is how do we use that water now to make it a groundwater.
In terms of doing the managed aquifer recharge infrastructure, this will happen by the end of the year. The boreholes again will be done by the end of the year. The monitoring boreholes will be done by the end of the year.
The project will be implemented by Water Resource Authority and Water Sector Trust Fund to the end of the project, which is 2028.
There is an investment of $15 million in terms of how we invest in the communities, and $30 million for how we get the groundwater information. Those are the amounts of money that will be put into the activities.
With Kenya's population growing by day, water scarcity is expected to rise, though proper interventions such as the Horn of Africa Groundwater Resilience Program could slow the magnitude of the problem. Garissa-Mwingi Highway, the magnitude of the floods is still evident. However, at the onset of this project, it is expected that such destruction will be minimized. Dan Kaburu, K24, in Garissa County.